Yo, how's it going, everyone? It's been a while, hasn't it? I haven't actually been able to stream for the past 3 months because I got a community strike on my other channel, which means you can't stream on any channel you own. And basically, I had to wait for it to wear off, which it did a couple of days ago. But I've been traveling a lot, so I just didn't have time to actually do any streams or anything. And I tell you what, now I feel like I'm well out of just practice from doing live streams. So yeah, what's been going on, chaps? What's new? Here's a random question: do people ever notice a lot of people think boomers mean baby boomers? Well, that's kind of what it's named after, isn't it? I mean, obviously. But yeah, so it's been really busy, really, really busy, and I guess I'll give you a quick update. So there's a huge amount going on with UKIP at the moment, which is awesome. And the past, like every week, I've been sitting down and recording chats with Chris Hicks, their head of press and communications. Just a couple of hours on a Friday or something, and then we'll record like 5 different clips and then upload them. Oh, I don't upload them, it's done by someone else during the week, and it's doubled the size, more than doubled the size of UKIP's YouTube account so far, from 13,000 to about 30,000 now. And what this means is actually that UKIP is now the political party with the largest following on YouTube, which is nice. But I really want to continue doing these to get it up to 100k. I want UKIP to have massive audience on YouTube because the establishment will hate it. But yeah, so I've been doing that. Obviously, I've been doing interviews. I've got the Tommy interview coming, probably not tomorrow, but probably Friday, something like that. And I also have managed to, and get this, right? So yesterday, I actually managed to go to a university and not get deplatformed. It's the University of Plymouth, which was great. It was really nice. It was really nice meeting everyone there. Everyone was really cool. And yeah, so we managed to record like a Q&A session in there. So that'll be up in a few days as well. And tomorrow we're going to Daventry, which is part of the sort of UKIP Northern tour, although this is in the Midlands. I've left a link in the description to the event that's listed on Facebook. So if you want to come, and it's a free event. There'll be lots of people speaking. It'll be very interesting. All of the previous ones have been doing really well. Really packed out, actually. And there's been a lot of interesting things said because there has been a lot of interesting stuff going on, hasn't there? And not just Brexit related, that's the thing. Like, when I'm doing speeches there, I mean, you've probably seen them on my main channel, but I'm talking more about the sort of the culture, really, what's going on in the culture, because I mean Brexit's covered by everyone else in UKIP, isn't it? I have to talk about it myself, obviously, but the I think there are other important things going on. I mean, the hate crimes in this country at the moment are unbelievable. Such an unbelievable thing that's going on. What was the one today? Oh yeah, that was it. A Catholic journalist either misgendered someone or said something else that was offensive to, quote, trans people, and the cops gave him a knock. And it's like, why? Why? Because, hate crimes, obviously, because a complaint was made to the cops by their mum. But yeah, the UKIP event will be free, and I'll probably be talking about hate speech, because it honestly, it's unbelievable at the moment. And the things that are going on in New Zealand at the moment, that's it's pretty fucking frustrating, to be honest. I tell you, it'll be within the next couple of weeks, the New Zealand Prime Minister will convert to Islam. I'm absolutely telling you. What's new? UK YouTuber calls New Zealand Prime Minister stupid woman and offends some of his Kiwi subscribers. I'd be very surprised if any of my Kiwi subscribers are big fans of the New Zealand Prime Minister. I don't know if she's a stupid woman, though. She's a massively virtue-signalling woman, though, isn't she? Make sure you've got your hijab on, love. The ladies in Iran are cheering for you. So, if we cannot control the opposition, then we'll leave it ourselves. Vladimir Lenin. Well, that's basically what's happening in many ways. Thanks, Theresa May. Love your work, Carl. You're such an awesome comedian. Oh, man, I wish what I did was fucking comedy. It's like shit's out of control, man. Everything's spiraling out of control. Everyone's panicking. They're acting like censorship is the answer. Censorship, it's not going to work. But the thing is, they don't really know who to censor, because the people he called out aren't really censorable people. They're not really saying anything that's, outside of the bounds of normal political discourse. And nobody else is in favor of what he did, obviously, and it's they're flailing for something to strike, because they don't want to have the inevitable conversation that is going to inevitably have to be had, which is, well, we need to talk about mass immigration, don't we? But Joshua, yes, it's very good, thank you, and it's nice to be back. It feels weird. I haven't had a conversation with you guys for ages like this. I should watch the animated movie Mazinger Z Infinity. I shit you not, the villain explains that humanity's weakness is diversity. Oof, that's pretty red pilled. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, to be honest. I don't know if I'm sure that diversity is our strength. I can say that. It's definitely our strength. You see, keeping us all divided makes us all stronger. That's how this works. Thanks, Nihilist Solitude. Brexit is coming, man. I hope so. I bloody hope Brexit is coming. I mean, honestly, it's so pathetic. It's such an embarrassment. Everyone is just shaking their heads, and there's a huge Remain petition going on at the moment. There's like 300,000 the last I saw, and 332,739 signatures. As if this will change anything. As if Theresa May is actually going to revoke Article 50. I mean, imagine if she did. It would just be like there are significant rumblings that people are starting to get quite angry. I mean, look at what's happening with James Goddard and the Yellow Vests at the moment. Like, I don't think James Goddard really did anything wrong. Calling Anna Soubry a Nazi is perfectly fair game in my opinion, because she's probably called enough people a Nazi herself. So them walking alongside her and saying, like, chanting from a distance, then walking alongside her trying to interview her. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can say it wasn't exactly a polite interview, but it's still, it's no different to what a lot of other people do, and he's on trial for harassment of it. So it's like, well, what you were seeing was legitimate political protest. That they weren't violent, they were just, rowdy at worst. But I'm sorry, get fucking used to that. Get fucking used to that. It's unacceptable for you to sit there and think that you can be protected from the sort of the criticism of the public, even if it comes in a way that you don't like. It's still just criticism. But for this, Goddard was banned from London, and obviously now he's being dragged through the courts. I don't actually know what the conclusion of it was. I mean, he's probably going to get fined, blah 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 blah. So I don't know. I really don't know where it ends. I think the political class is kind of closing ranks at the moment. I mean, I'm honestly not sure whether the European Union is going to give us an extension either. I mean, I don't think anyone does, but I don't think anyone is. But if we're lucky, I've heard rumours that Nigel Farage has gone and spoken to Salvini, which may well happen. And also there was the thing about Macron going around, but I don't know if that was confirmed either. But as a US bro, I do love watching the Brexit dumpster fire. Well, I mean, I'm sure it's a fascinating drama from outside of it, but from inside of it, it's quite frustrating, because all of this could just be solved, but obviously it's not. The incels need to leave 4chan and go where and do what? They make the world hostile to what young white men, then mock them when they stay in the basement. Well, yeah, that's the thing. We really need to get to the point where we can start saying, look, young white men are people with problems and they need help. And I think that Trump is actually doing some good in this regard, actually, because there was a viral video going around today that was really, really fucking heartwarming. It's just really heartwarming. And Donald Trump, let me see if I can find it, he actually tweeted it out, which is really awesome. Here we go. So it was one of those things where it was like, this is the kids with, doing taekwondo practice with a face covering on so he can't see who's in front of him. And the dad's taken over from the instructor. And then the dad starts telling him to keep his guard up or something, and the kid's just like, wait, I recognize that voice. And it's totally adorable. It is totally fucking adorable. And it's one of those things that it really does, it helps emphasize the importance of fathers and the importance of father to the son, which is nice, isn't it? And the thing is, I guess this really resonated with me because I've got to travel a lot. Like I've been invited to go and speak in Australia in May, and it's not that I don't want to go to Australia and speak to people in events and stuff, because it sounds like it'd be great fun. But man, it's a hell of a long way to go, and I've been gone for like a week from my kid. So, I mean, there's a part of me that really doesn't want to have to do that. But again, there's a part of me that thinks, well, it'll probably be important to go to Australia because, man, Australia and New Zealand seem like utterly regressive hellholes. Like, unbelievably regressive. And then you get the one senator who's like, Islam is the fascism of religions. And it's like, well, prove him wrong. Fucking prove him wrong. No, instead you're going to hit him with an egg and censor him. Right, okay, fine. Okay. Not the egg is the censorship, but there will be censorship. Censoring fucking everything, man. Like, ripping all the stuff off the internet. Like, the UK government has put forward legislation to make it illegal to read terrorist material. One read. If you're caught with terrorist material, you could become a criminal and be put in jail. Right? That's terrifying, isn't it? Like that's like I think it is important for us to read this stuff to see why they do what they do, because there is a completely false narrative going around about the Christchurch shooter that he was radicalized on the internet, which he wasn't. He says very clearly in his manifesto it was his visit to France that radicalized him. Sitting in front of the fields of the innumerable dead from World War II and seeing all of the mass immigration, that is what radicalized him. It wasn't the internet. I mean, I'm not saying the internet's never radicalized anyone. I'm sure it has. But in this particular case, that's just not true. And yeah, the UK is a freaking dystopia. Trump 2020. I agree. And that's a good username. But yeah, it's all getting really quite bad outside of America, but in the Anglosphere, it's as far as I can tell, but especially in Britain. I mean, one fascist is turning everyone fascist, so it's pretty bad. So yeah, we've got problems, and I'm really busy, and I have to travel a lot. But it's fine. I'm happy to do it. Obviously, I am having a good time. It's just tiring. I've done like 3 engagements in the past day and a half, and I've got another couple tomorrow. So yeah, it's just tiring, but it's fine and it's good stuff. And thank you to everyone who supports me on Subscribestar as well. You're the guys who make all this happen. I'm going to have a load of content going up on my main channel that'll be good quality content as well. In the next couple of days. It's the problem, honestly, is just the fact that it's you're talking about like hundreds of gigs worth of video that we now have to like copy over to a computer and edit, and that just takes a lot of time. Thankfully, I'm not the one who has to do it, but it takes a lot of time to do, and it means that I can do stuff like this and talk to you guys since I don't have to do the editing manually. So thank you again, like so much to everyone who backs me on Subscribestar. I just can't, honestly. I wouldn't be able to do half of what I'm able to do now if it wasn't for you guys. There's no such thing as a dangerous meme. Well, there's just no justification for censoring any of these things anyway. It's incumbent on us to be able to have a rebuttal to almost any kind of meme as an idea, like a meme. Because otherwise it makes us look like we are not like we don't have an answer to it, and so there must be something true about it, and then that opens up a whole world of possibilities for people who want to kind of lead people down certain paths. Kathleen, we had an election in Holland today. A new Trump-like figure just won it out of nowhere. Thierry Baudet, a new anti-EU ally for the UK. Oh really? I'll have to Google this guy. Fucking fabulous. This is another thing about the EU. Like, the EU is going Eurosceptic. So, yeah. Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, I'm just looking up this guy. But, yeah, so we're all in positions where there is a huge amount of political flux, and the establishment are just committing to the way that they've been doing things, and I mean like doubling down hard, and in a really negative way, in my opinion. Terry Hesticles, $10. You made me think about Andrew Yang's foreskin today. Otherwise, this would be $20. Dude, you don't know he's got a foreskin. This is your projection, my friend. I didn't make you think this foreskin. I assumed that because he was an American who was born in America, he probably didn't have one. Just he might be one of those guys who's like, give me my foreskin back. So, just saying. Minikist, republics are not representative democracies. Well, they actually are. They're based on different philosophies. Republics based off Rome, democracies based off Athens. That's too simplistic. Democracy is effectively just a word that we use as an umbrella term to represent any kind of government where you have a voting base and a and what we consider to be democratic accountabilities, and you vote for the people who represent you. Republics aren't like that. They're just, Athens is a direct democracy. And I certainly wouldn't recommend we copy it. And honestly, the way that the US is set up, it's probably one of the most stable forms of republic as well, not just forms of democracy. But, the constitutional monarchies are democracies. You get lots of different types of democracies. Buy Bitcoin. I don't know anything about Bitcoin still, to be honest. It ends in room 101, where we all agree that 2 + 2 = 5 if the party says so. Well, that is the entire problem with the term trans women are women, and I'll keep saying it because it's just not. You can't make people believe that this is a biological woman because it'll never be a biological woman. So I'm sorry that you just can't force that on people. Do you think a rebellion or civil war will occur in Britain to replace the current one? I think that people will definitely try at the ballot boxes. I think that's far more likely. Look at what's going on in France still at the moment, constantly going on, is the protest against Macron. I don't even know what they want now. I don't even know what the goal of the yellow vests is at this point, but I do know they keep getting the shit kicked out of them by the fucking cops, and so it's just like, it's really bad. Give me a sec. Sorry about that. It's really, really bad, man. I keep seeing these videos, and it's getting virtually zero media coverage. The only thing I saw the other day was that Macron was thinking about banning protests in the Champs-Élysées or something, however it's pronounced. I can't pronounce French. Which, you don't have to worry about protests if you just ban protesting. Tap, tap, tap. That's an absolutely... it's unbelievably tyrannical. It's tyrannical, but the thing is, the yellow vests now, I think, are just a revolutionary movement. They seem to just want to get rid of Macron himself, so it's one of those things. Mitch, Anglos rise up. Yeah, tell me about it, man. It's not even Anglos, it's like Welshmen rise up. Call someone, do something, for the love of God. When I say, oh God, and when I say do something, I mean vote fucking UKIP. Don't vote for the established parties. In fact, I don't vote Lib Dem, vote Green, vote fucking Monster Raving Loony Party. I don't care. Just don't vote for the established parties who, and in my opinion, don't vote for any fucking party that is on board with the progressive agenda. If they're pro-progressivism, they can get fucked. And this is what I've been thinking about the Conservatives recently. It's like, it's not even a positive position. It's just a negative position. We don't want to change too much. But what if where you are is fucking hate speech laws and gay sex being, gay marriage being taught in classrooms? I don't want 5-year-olds worrying about sexuality. It's way too young, and so when it comes to the Birmingham Muslim protesters, I'm on their side in regards to the fact that I don't think that their kids should be propagandized with LGBT stuff either at like 5, 6, 7 years old. It's way too young. Maybe when they're like 13 or something and they have to do sex education, or whatever age it is, 12, 13, whatever it is, and they have to do sex education, then sure, you can have some information on it there. Why wouldn't you? It's a facet of the world, so they should learn about it. But single digit age children don't need to know about that. So why are you doing it? I can only assume they're doing it to further cement the ideological agenda. That's the only reason I can think of doing it. Because no reasonable person is going to say, hey, this is a good idea for my kids. But these are obviously not reasonable people. And I think a lot of them will openly tell you that, to be honest. I've literally had conversations with SJWs where they will define themselves outside of the reasonable people category. And I'm sorry, okay, that's odd, but fair enough. I believe you'll get Brexit. I also think your government will do whatever it takes to make life in Britain so miserable that you beg to get back into the EU. Call upon their lobbyists to crash the economy. Well, it's really unpredictable what's going to happen. The Conservative and Labour parties are basically falling apart. The Brexiteers and the sort of the Remainers, I don't want to call them the centrists necessarily, but the Remainers in the Conservative Party. The Conservative Party's always been a broad church, and now they're really starting to radicalise. I mean, you've got Brexiteers threatening to leave the party, and then you've got the sorry, excuse me. You've got Brexiteers threatening to leave the party. And then you've got the Remainers who think Theresa May might resign, threatening to leave the party as well if Boris Johnson, an arch Brexiteer, ends up leading the party as well. So, I mean, it could well be that this just essentially shakes the Conservative Party to pieces. They've already had some defections, as well as Labour has had some defections in the independent group, which isn't really a party, but it's like a collection of dissenting MPs who have left their parties and are just kind of hanging around somewhere in the Blairite centre ground. And then you've got Corbyn's lot, who, a bunch of Remainers led by a hardcore Brexiteer, one of Britain's primary Brexiteers up until the referendum. And the Labour Party is going down in the polls as well because, man, they just are always on the wrong side of everything. They are just always on that wrong side. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But the thing is, Britain's doing really well at the moment. I mean, we've just got down to 3.9% unemployment, and that's the lowest it was since like 1975. And I'm assuming this is something to do with the fact that a bunch of people from the European Union have decided to go back to the European Union because actual real earnings are up as well. I do have a few articles about these somewhere because I was saving them for a video. Here we go. So the Independent. Shut up. Yeah, UK unemployment rate hits 44-year low, and the Times, is this the one? No. Okay, I don't know where the other one is. But the net migration has dropped by 100,000 after, and this was like in 2017, 1 year into the Brexit vote. So it's noticeable drops. So, I mean, everything's kind of coming up roses in spite of the Conservatives. Everything's going really well. It's the country is growing way faster than Germany, and so it's like, okay, we're one of the strongest economies in Europe at the moment. The German economy is bigger, but ours is more healthy. The Germans only just avoided a recession. The French are constantly week after week burning cars in their capital. It's like, well, what exactly are we losing when we leave the EU? Exactly, someone remind me again. Joshua, I only read the manifesto because I predict the MSM would lie about it. Surprise, surprise, my prediction's correct. Yeah, there's a totally false narrative going around that he got radicalised in the test. It's bullshit. I had a video on the Christchurch manifesto taken down. It had a grand total of 3 views. I suspect the algorithm flagged it. Fuck YouTube. Yeah, a lot of people have been saying don't put my video on it on YouTube, put it on BitChute and just let people know it's there. Honestly, I think that might be a good idea. I might not even put a video up on YouTube directing people to it because who knows how punitive that they'll get with this kind of stuff. But there is stuff in there that really does need to be talked about, and so I think we should. And I think it's irresponsible for the status quo to pretend that literally nothing that he said was true. I mean, obviously his solutions are terrible. The worldview that he has is a terrible one, obviously, but that doesn't mean that he's not responding to something that is actually happening. But anyway, have you seen the government's response to the Prorog petition? They needed to make a deal, yet at the same time talks about the precautions for a no deal. No, I haven't seen their response. I hope it was good. I hope it was. We're too weak to do anything of the sort. Yes. Did you see the call to the Muslim call to prayer towards non-Muslims that the New Zealand PM is calling for Friday? They're trying to unsweet Sweden for the most cucked nation, it seems. Yeah, it's incredible. This is why I'm predicting that she'll convert to Islam within the next week or two. I think she'll actually do it. She'll be like, you know what, this is the right thing to do. What do you think of Tulsi supporting reparations? You know what, right? You could probably go, okay, fine, reparations, right? We'll work out however much you think each individual black person in America should be paid. $10,000 or whatever you think it is, right? Just pay it, and then be like, right, but now the conversation's over. We're never having this conversation again. You've signed the paperwork. You've taken the money. That's it. That's it. And if you fucking blow it, okay, your money to blow, right? But don't complain to us after you've blown this money. You wanted the reparations, we paid it. End of conversation. Thank you. Good day. That's honestly where I am at with the reparations conversation. It's like, look, you don't deserve, none of you deserve any reparations, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, if this isn't going to go away and more and more Democrats are going to support it, you may as well do it for a laugh. Just be like, okay, go on then. It'll fucking ruin them. You know, it's free money. It becomes valueless, and they'll buy a load of shit, piss it all up the wall, because this is what anyone does when they get a huge amount of money. Just look at like lottery winners. You know, it ruins their lives, and I think it's probably do the same. But you know, you can demand those reparations if you want, but you know, something given has no value, and that's what it'll be. Because you didn't put any labour into attaining it, no time or effort. It won't be important to you. But, gynocentrism is cancer. Female suffrage is immoral. Men and women are not equal. Egalitarianism is false. Well, I mean, I agree with gynocentrism being cancer, men and women not being equal, and egalitarianism being false. But that doesn't mean that women shouldn't get to vote. I mean, if they work, if they pay taxes, yes, they should vote. The Ministry of Truth isn't amused. You thought criminal. Oh man, tell me about it. I'm honestly, I'm certain that I'm going to be on a bunch of different lists, and honestly, it does make me watch my words. Like, it really does. I look back like, man, when they were reading out the tweets to Tim Pool on Joe Rogan, like these are like 2-3 year old tweets now. And I was just listening to them thinking, man, I would never say something like that in the current environment. Things use so much more permissive and shitposty. You know, because obviously it's all like, you know, ironic insults towards the alt-right and stuff like that, which, I mean, you know, in the time and space is understandable. Same with the one that got me banned from Patreon. It's all understandable in the time and space, but man, the way the environment is now, you can't shitpost in the same way you used to be able to. I genuinely feel oppressed. 30% of Oz have UK citizenship. Can we vote UKIP? Yeah, I would assume you can. What? I didn't even know that. Is that true? Assuming that's true, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. I mean, why? What would be the rationale for you to not be able to if you're UK citizens? Why did DUP support May but want WTO Brexit? Honestly, because it's the closest they're getting to power, I think. I don't really know, but that's my guess. Have I got my porn license yet? No, I haven't. They're not selling them yet, actually. It begins on the 1st of April, apparently. Also makes more CNN header clips. Those are awesome. Yeah, dude, I had so much fun doing those. I forgot that I used to do them, to be honest. Now I was like looking around my old hard drive to see if there's anything interesting on there, and I found a bunch of old stuff from the new media that this channel I'm not getting back. So I thought, oh, you know, anything interesting I'll upload. And they were the things I thought were funny. But yeah, I'll do some more of those because they are great fun to do. The thing is, they take quite a lot of time. So you've got to be, you know, fairly precise with the editing. And time is just the one thing I don't have. Because, I mean, obviously, at the same time, I've got to study. I've got to read loads of books. I've got to, you know, learn new things and figure shit out. So, but don't worry, I'm on it. The fallout from the shooting and the media reaction being exactly what the shooter knew it would be has me worried. We've reached a turning point. Thanks. Keep up the good work. Yeah, Silent Earth. That's exactly the problem. That is exactly the problem. He knew everything that they would do. I mean, it's honestly incredible how skillfully he has played this situation to make everything he wanted to happen, and how just easily they just bumbled straight into it. It's just exactly what he wanted in every single way. And then he trolls them in the courtroom doing the OK sign. Then, oh, it's the white power sign. For fuck's sake, it's still not the white power sign, you mongoloids. He's doing it because you think it's the white power sign. You fucking idiots. So yeah, it's just like shit's out of control. And the thing is, he's going to represent himself, right? Which means that he's going to pontificate. And honestly, place your bets. I bet he does the fucking floss dance and the fucking at the judge or something like that. And I didn't even know what they say. It's just going to be total disrespect to the process. You know, fucking believable. But yeah, I mean, good. Rescind the guns, censor everyone, go fascist. It takes one fascist to make New Zealand fascist. Good job. Bravo. Fucking, you did it. Fucking idiots, man. And this was exactly the sort of thing that we used to speak against when it was the jihadis like 10 years ago. Like, we were like, no. It was always like, look, we're not going to let them change us. We're not going to let them change us. That's capitulation. We operate liberal, open societies with freedoms, liberties, and the rule of law. We're not going to just let them change that by committing terror attacks. Then we lose. Then they win. And lo and behold, it's very frustrating. The Guardian, 9 days later. I'm not sure what that reference is, but yeah, we've got 9 days till Brexit. Well, 8 days now, really. That English gent, fellow UKIP here, hello. Given the current deadlock situation of Brexit, do you reckon WTO exit is almost guaranteed now? Also, how much life do you think the EU has left in it before collapse? Well, I really hope that WTO is the way out, because that means we get out in 9 days, and we can stop paying the EU the phenomenal sums of money that we pay them, and we won't have to pay them even more money, literally like double the amount that we paid them. Is that what they want for an extension? We pay a net about 9 billion a year, so about 16 billion, but we get rebates and discounts, blah blah. So the net amount comes out to about 9 billion a year. And what this means, and when they say we want an extra billion a month, that's what 21 billion a year that they want off of us instead of the 9 billion. It's like, well, Jesus fucking Christ, why bother having any extensions at all, paying any more money, and just save ourselves what we pay each month, and then another 39 billion, which will be part of the divorce settlement? Why not do that? Oh, but some jobs will be lost. Well, okay, but we're currently at record unemployment. Okay, so if ever we were well positioned to take the hit, now's it. You fuck nuggets. It's so frustrating, and yet they act like, literally. I saw a clip going around earlier. Oh my God, they're going to bring this country down. Bring this country down. What the they think it's going to be an apocalypse. They think this country is going to be destroyed. It's like, what are you doing? Get a grip, you lunatics. This is obviously the independent group, the Hyper Remainers, right? Let me find... Right, so you can see it. It's just like, this government is on the edge of bringing this country down. Get bent, dude. Like, bring this country down. I don't know what she thinks is going to happen. She thinks that just brimstone is going to rain from the sky or something. So yeah, the political class in Britain has just lost its collective minds. Theresa May came out and made a vacuous statement that meant absolutely nothing, and was just a way of like essentially trying to kick the ball back to Parliament. But at the end of the day, they know what's going to happen. It's just no one's got the balls to vote for it. No one has the balls to just say, okay, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Just make it happen. Just make it happen. Just pull the Band-Aid off, you pussies. Ace Combat fan. We had a school shooting in Brazil on March the 3rd with 8 victims of 2 shooters who both used guns and medieval crossbows. No international headlines because guns are already practically banned in Brazil. Well, isn't Bolsonaro liberalizing your gun laws so law-abiding citizens can actually arm themselves against the gangs and do something about Brazil's highest number of murders in all of the world? So, good old Bolsonaro is hopefully going to do it for you. But honestly, good luck there, man. Good fucking luck. I mean, like, we talk, like, no one cares that a school shooting happened in Brazil. Do you know why? Because you're fucking Catholics. That's why. No one gives a shit. People assume Catholicism means white. That's why. And and literally that's what it is. They think Christianity is white, Muslim is brown, despite the fact that most Christians are also brown. I mean, in February, there was something like 1,000 deaths or 900 Christian deaths from Islamic terrorism across Africa in the month of February. Not one word. Like, one bloody church bombing killed 30 people in one go. No one cares. They don't report it. I mean, like, some news source will report it from somewhere, but there's no outrage, no speaking out, no, oh, God, think of the victims. They don't care. They just don't care. They don't care about you. They care about the victim classes, and Muslims love to portray themselves as victims, right? I'm not just saying that hyperbolically either. The Muslim protesters at Birmingham literally said, we feel victimized by the fact that you're introducing this to the schools. It's like, that is the Achilles heel of the progressive. If someone can claim victimhood, however illusory, then the progressives just, oh God, you poor victims. And so obviously when a shooting happens, like in Christchurch, my God, like the New Zealand Prime Minister tries to convert the entire country to Islam and play the call of prayer across the nation. Brilliant. Absolutely fucking dimmies, man. And I tell you what, the leftists I've been arguing with on Twitter, man, they're not happy about being called dimmies. But I tell you what, it's a fucking accurate label for them. For anyone who doesn't know, a dhimmi is a non-Muslim who lives under Muslim rule and pays the jizya, willingly pays to keep their religion and not be forcibly converted to Islam. That's something that's just a core part of Islam, just so you know, if you weren't sure. Liam, love your work, though I have to say I do miss This Week in Stupid. Best of luck in the future. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the support. I would love to. When I've finished doing so much work, I certainly will return to it. It's just I just can't keep up with it. How much freedom will you have to lose for packing it up and moving to the United States? Dude, I can't flee my country. I really don't want to flee my country. I really don't like the idea. I think that makes the problem worse. That just leaves the thing that I think is a decent thing in the hands of people who I don't think are decent people. So I don't want to just run away. And the thing is, this is the thing that bothers me about that attitude as well, is that I would love to see an expansion of the sort of English-speaking liberal society, not a contraction of it. Free society, I would love to see an expansion of free society rather than a contraction. And us all running away to America is us on the defense and us losing ground. If anything, Americans should be moving to Britain and agitating and saying, we're immigrants and we want fucking freedom. That would be really useful, because apparently the Brits can't do it for themselves. But yeah, so I'm not going to do that. I don't know if I saw British Classical Liberal New Zealand brought in censorship laws already. Yeah, I know, man. Like, there's a kid facing 14 years in jail for sharing the stream on social media. That is unbelievably draconian. You shared a stream on social media, that's it. That's 14 years when you're an 18-year-old, potentially. That is unbelievabally punitive. But Islamic critics need to be specific. Target schools such as Deobandi, Salafi, otherwise. No, fuck off, man. Don't fucking target any schools. Honestly, I don't know how. I'm going to fucking delete this, man. Don't give me this shit. Like, there is no targeting of schools, and this is not how things are going to be done. And I really, really cannot emphasize enough how much I do not want people to do that. Like, that's the kind of shit that'll get me taken off of YouTube. I know, and it's unbelievable, but this is the the standard that's been set. Like, I don't agree that Ralph should have been taken off YouTube for some people in his chat saying things that were offensive. I don't, shitposty jokes that honestly 5 years ago would have been fine, or 3 years ago would have been fine, but now it's not done. It's not acceptable. It's like, okay, well, we can't even make jokes. Sam Wetherington, how's being a dad enriching your life? Man, it's the best thing I've ever done with my life. Like, I honestly feel bad that there are people out there who loathe the idea of becoming fathers. I like, and mothers, obviously. I really feel bad, because honestly, like, when I get back, my son's joy of me walking through the door is just the best thing in the world. And this is the sort of thing that does genuinely give your life meaning as well. So yeah, like, nihilistic millennials, just get on it. Right, I'm gonna get Arch Warhammer on, because I told him like 20 minutes ago I'd get him on, and I told him 10 minutes, and so yeah. So give me a second. So yes, it's not been going wonderfully, has it? But the thing is, it's not. I mean, it could have gone a lot worse generally, mass shootings aside. And the thing is, there were a bunch of. I mean, I don't know if they were reprisal necessarily attacks, but hello, yeah. Have you noticed there's been a bunch of attacks going on? Like, there was a couple. There was one in Utrecht. There was like white nationalists doing it as well, not just jihadis. Yeah, Utrecht. Yeah. Yeah, that was a guy from Senegal who was going to get revenge for the people who died trying to cross the Mediterranean, so presumably revenge on Mother Nature or something. But yeah, thankfully the kids escaped the bus, though. But yeah, the guy set the bus on fire with the kids in it, try and kill the kids. I can't even imagine. Like there was one probably about a month ago now, where this Shia mother and son had gone to Mecca to the Kaaba to do the Hajj, which is a pilgrimage that they go over, and sorry, I'm just gonna check that. Someone said that they. Well, I don't know why they should be able to. Hang on. Listen, it's been a while since I've done this, so some boomerism is to be expected. Thank you. Okay, there we go. People can now.
Can I be heard now?
Yes. So yeah, some boomerism is to be expected. Thank you.
Boomer audio. That's what the chat's saying.
Yes, boomeritis. Well, I was looking for a link, so I didn't see it. So I'm looking for a bunch of things because there were a bunch of responses.
I will defend Sagan on this. He hasn't streamed for like half a year.
Yeah,
that is true.
Not have choice. I would love to have streamed, but yeah. But basically, there were a couple of attacks from white nationalists and a couple of attacks from jihadis, and everyone's starting to get kind of woke to the fact that I've seen the media narrative. Oh well, I mean, they basically view the world in the same way. It's like fucking brilliant. Yes, yes, they do. And now, who else views the world in the vision of sort of competing ethnic groups? Who else does that? You shits. Oh, that's right, the radical left. Fucking, we're almost there. We've almost figured out the problem.
Whoa, Sargon. It took them a couple of decades to get to this point. I think we're going to have to give them at least another 10 to reach at that conclusion.
Yeah, I know, right? It's I mean, literally, it's the dumbest thing. And then all I'm hearing is like exiling and ostracizing people, and it's like, dude, that is just going to radicalize them. Like, like Tommy Robinson's they've tried to tie him to this and say, what the fuck's he got to do with this?
I entirely agree. I made a video basically calling for people to calm down and stop with the course of censorship. That is only going to make it worse.
Yes. Yeah, and these people will feel persecuted.
Because they fucking are.
Well, yeah,
Come on, we got to be able to admit that.
Yes.
Like, beyond pedophiles and mass rapists, I don't think there is a more persecuted group of society.
No, I agree with you completely. Catherine Scully, a Nazi is anyone who believes their own nation should be allowed to exist. This is actually a debate I had to have with someone.
Shit.
No. That's obviously she's joking, but like that is unironically a debate I had over the term nationalism. They didn't call me a Nazi, but they thought that nationalism was far too strong a term, and they wanted to use patriotism. It's like, well, I mean, I can understand why you'd say that, because there are definitely versions of nationalism that are hyper extreme and whatnot, but I don't think it really. I really do agree with Orwell on this. That it's not really about the nation itself. It's any kind of commitment to a higher ideal. So, like the commitment to the jihad, the caliphate, commitment to communism, and all these sort of things. All of these ideologies is that kind of and obviously like white nationalists and hyper extreme nationalists. This kind of commitment to the thing before any other consideration really does lead to these kind of terrible events. And I'm committed to the institutions. I think that we can change them by voting. Like an idiot,
Yeah, I mean, think of the alternative, though. I mean, this is basically a meme in the right and the left at this point. The whole let's have a civil war and stuff. Like, that's going to suck a lot more, right? That's going to be really terrible. That's going to suck a lot. And I really hate also the idea that I've seen around, like, this time it'll be a quick war. Yes, I know. The First World War was also going to be over in a month.
Yeah, there are so many quotes from military historians and tacticians that, I mean, like, wars begin when you will, but do not end when you please. There's a great one someone's just sent from George Orwell. If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people that which they do not want to hear. Yes, that's exactly it. If we can't, and this is the whole thing with hate crimes and talking about the terrorist manifesto and all this sort of stuff. It's all just about the fact they don't want to fucking hear it. It's like, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you don't want to hear it, but, you know?
Well, I only came in here to call you a boomer and yell at you that we couldn't hear Arch, but it seems I'm on the stream now.
That's all right.
I do have some takes on this though, but I did a bit of a Twitter thread recently about how I think if there was a civil war, it would be protracted and bloody and much worse than people would think. But I also think the people on the left who think that they would have an easy victory in it are deluding themselves.
Well, did
obviously.
they forget which side has all the guns?
Yeah, it was not just that. It's. I went through and I looked at the demographics, and the demographics of people who are in the oil industry, people who basically anyone who runs infrastructure or farms is pretty much on the right.
But
So
also the cops in the military.
Yes.
Like, who are the cops in the military going to side with? The people who are chanting no guns, no wall, no USA at all, or the people who are chanting USA, USA, USA?
Yeah,
Who the
and
fuck are they
people who
standing
hate
with?
the cops and they hate the military.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to be the side that the cops and the military are with.
Exactly. You say, what incentive would they have to join them?
I think a future civil war in the US would take a different shape than many people believe. I don't think it'll be left versus right. I think it'll be outside versus inside interests. And I think it would require a significant weakening of the US in its current form.
Yeah, I agree. It certainly would, and it would lead to a significant weakening of the US. But the thing is, like, civil wars, it's really a kind of a dull statement to say, oh, well, this civil war would be bloody. Yeah, they all are. They're all a fight to the death. So one side is essentially wiped out. You know, there are terrible purges. Lots of people die for political reasons. It's really awful and just nothing but chaos. There's no rule of law. You know, you don't want a fucking civil war. It's really undesirable.
It's a war.
Yes.
Wars suck.
But it's worse than a normal war, you know? It's worse than a normal war. Because the opponents, the opponents aren't, you know, they're not there to capitulate. They're there to be destroyed.
Well,
And
you can't even. It's not even brother against brother because you can't assume their gender.
Yeah, exactly.
It's they against them. It's Z against her.
Another thing
thanks.
too, like Sargon says, there is no surrender in a civil war. Like,
No.
it's not a war about strategic goals. It's not something that can be reached at a amicable solution. If you're in a state of a civil war, that means that the political situation has become so polarized that there literally is no talking anymore.
Yeah, it's just to wipe the opponents out. The opponents represent like a status quo that is just so antithetical to the opposition's vision for the future that they just have no choice. There's no more dialogue. It's just war now until one wins and then the other is exterminated, basically. And so, and honestly, who can say it's not going that way? You know, with the radical left polarizing things every single day, increasingly, more and more and more. It's going to come down to, do you believe in sort of liberal democracy or do you believe in intersectional democracy?
I see this strange romanticization of like civil war and violence from the left oftentimes as well. You know, the punch Nazis and the go out there.
Yeah.
It happened a lot when the Antifa stuff was a lot more commonplace.
Yeah.
This very, very idealized version of what a revolutionary is. And they I guess they thought that you could just go out there and things would be hunky dory and you'd make big changes and you wouldn't get thrashed and beat up and ground to a pulp or shot at or.
And there are loads of great videos of these sort of Proud Boy types just slugging out Antifa.
Oh yeah, it's like, this is what a fight is. It sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is exactly.
Still want that revolution.
Yeah.
I do love those people who are like, but Scrump, you just don't want to get punched because you're a Nazi. I'm like, have you seen the physical disparity in street battle? Every time Antifa tries to take
punched, period.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, one, I don't tend to go to these events because I'm not a LARPer. I like my house, but second, I don't take the gym tax that real life stuff is cringe. But I don't think a lot of these street battles are productive. But when Antifa does try and say that they rule the streets, unless they're in somewhere like Portland where the police is literally protecting them, they get the shit kicked out of them. It's honestly, if this is a civil war, it's a really sad, pathetic one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this isn't the Civil War itself. I mean, it'll be, You know, when people start literally gangs of people breaking into people's houses and lynching them in the street, then you'll start seeing civil war.
I don't think there'll be a civil war. There might be a civil uprising. There might be just people getting sick of the establishments and politicians' shit.
Could be. It could be. I wouldn't rule it out.
There's plenty of lampposts in London and Washington. Put it that way.
Yeah. But yeah. So let me go through some more of these super chats.
Oh yeah, you're getting a lot of super chats, Christ.
Yeah, I don't want to miss them or anything. Sargon Arch Rags, I love it. There are a lot of liberalists who suck at debating. Any chance for tips and tricks video? God, you don't want it from me. I was convinced.
The best way to become a good debater is to watch lots of debates.
Yeah.
It's Sargon Arch Rags and Scrump, by the way.
Yay!
Oh, poor Scrump.
Feeling left out over here.
I was convicted of a
I
hate
liked your
crime,
Jim Sterling tweet.
but now we'll talk about Jim Sterling in a minute, man. Fucking hell, yeah. Let me get through some of these, and then we'll talk about Jim Sterling, because this was just so good.
There is a super chat that asks about my recent dump, so I was hoping to get to that.
Okay, well, hang on a sec. Right, so I was convicted of a hate crime, but people now understand what's going on. I got a programming job, just saying. Good. No, that's really, as in you're saying the boss was like, yeah, I know what hate crimes are. Fucking, hate crimes are bullshit. People like to give a second chance in life. It's possible. People in real life like to help. Yeah. I mean, most people aren't partisan ferrets on Twitter who go after everyone's ankles. So, I love live streams of Sargon and Arch. Keep up the good work. Please do something in Canada. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I'll see. I mean, I don't know if I'm banned from these countries, but get a pint in your lad and keep up the good work. Thank you. Did you see the God Emperor's face when Tropical Trump said fake news? Right. Okay. So I haven't watched the full thing with Bolsonaro and Trump yet. I did get it up just in case we wanted to watch it. Because Bolsonaro specifically calls out what he calls, quote, gender ideology. And man, that got a lot of them upset. No, but it was Trump was just nodding like a motherfucker as well.
Yeah,
head nodding up and down. That's the clip I saw, and it's like, dude, these are my boys. They fucking get it. They absolutely get it. Would you talk with Gary Edwards or the Distributist again? Yes, of course. I love both of them. Definitely two of my favorite sort of brain food channels. Isn't it interesting that the strongest censorship and criminalizing of people's thoughts and behavior is happening in the UK and her ex-colonies? Well, I mean, interesting is definitely one way of describing it. I personally find it horrifying, and I don't see any good coming of it. Do a podcast about Arch Sargon about the morality of the Emperor. I mean, I'm personally not familiar enough with the Emperor's life story to necessarily give a judgment on it, but I mean, maybe the other way around, where I ask Arch about the morality of the Emperor. That could be interesting. I would definitely be down for that, actually. Do that video anonymously with your own voice. Leave free sharing. Yeah, I'll do a video, and I'll probably have to put it up on BitChute. Frankly, I'm too afraid to put it on Silicon Valley social media networks. It's just too scary. It's really scary. I mean, like, it's easy to say, oh, that's not being brave or something. You should risk it. It's like, yeah, but I mean, man.
Yeah, you tell us that when it's your channel.
Yeah, exactly. I've got a family to feed, and I've got 3 people that I need to pay. I can't really be that reckless, can I? So, acknowledge me, I acknowledge you, Lewd Beats. Hello, man. How you doing? Thank you for the donation. Really appreciate it, man. The best a man could be as a father. Cue controversy, dude. That is the least controversial sub-statement I've ever heard. That is it is fucking true. That's the most truest of true statements that any man can hear. Like it's so good for you. It makes you. It gives you a purpose in life. I promise. I'd be terrified of becoming a parent. There's just so many things I could fuck up. Yeah, okay, dude. Right. Everyone thinks this. Everyone thinks this, right? But luckily, you have your wife or your girlfriend, presumably, with you. So it's not that you have to do it all on your own.
Yeah, she can fuck up with you too.
Exactly. She can fuck it up with you too.
Together.
So, exactly. It might be her fault when something goes wrong.
Yeah.
So you never know, right?
Yeah, but then with more kids and it gets more complicated.
Yeah, but well, it actually it's not as complicated as you think, because a lot of the time, like, they do their own thing. They just need you there just in case they start doing something stupid. But it's
like
totally
you on stream with me.
Yes, in a lot of ways, yes. Only
the biggest jump is from 0 kids
only
to
probably
1
more
kid.
dangerous, to be honest. You don't want to eat something deadly or something.
You should probably put something on the screen as well for the people.
Well, I haven't got anything
Well,
to
they
share.
can fucking learn cuneiform, and if they did, there's a lovely story
Yeah,
that's
they
being
can-
told here on the back wall.
Exactly. It's that. I mean, I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming that's a standard Assyrian inscription. They used to have like like a standard a standard
It's,
imprint.
No, it's actually gay fan fiction about Dumbledore.
I hope so. Oh god, fucking the J.K. Rowling memes are the best. You know, nobody, nothing. By the way, did you know that Dumbledore loved rimming? good,
He just
good info, J.K. Thanks.
Yeah.
Exactly. I needed to
A
know
man with a
Dobby's
beard
fetishes.
rimming? No. Don't want any
Middle-aged
bristlage.
British woman desperately attempting to stay irrelevant by sexualizing a children's fairy tale.
Oh god, it's disgusting, isn't it? It's why. Just wait until some ANCAP develops a nuclear bomb in his garage. It's
Remember,
probably
kids,
already
use
happened.
protection or you'll get Hogwarts.
I live in Canada and I'm getting worried my politicians might use Christchurch as an excuse to censor. They certainly will. They certainly will. You're doing great work.
Wand rot.
Knock over the EU's Tower of Babel rip off on the way out for me. When on the way out for me. Well, I'll do my best, obviously. But have I heard about what happened in Milan regarding the bus attack? Was that the Senegalese immigrant who tried to burn the children alive?
It's fucked up.
This is the world we live in now.
Yeah, it is.
This is just the like I just say that so casually. Asked the immigrant who tried to burn a bus full of kids alive.
Man, he was what a victim.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
That's being
victimized
massively
like
covered
that.
up in the news as well. It's
Nationalism
just
did this.
nowhere.
Yeah. Are you going to make another point with the discussion with Potato Man? Yeah, I stood up Kevin Logan today. I apologized to him already by DM, but I was like, yeah, go and denounce me. I'm sorry, man. I've just had a lot of stuff coming at me because I've got to make a lot of arrangements and stuff, and it completely slipped my mind. Thoughts on short attackers and Scrump's theory on the New Zealand reaction being due to the 36-minute police response time to the shootings?
What's the theory?
I can explain that.
Yeah,
this
go
is
ahead.
this is why I want to stay here because there is some stuff going around by some people who are in the security services saying that a lot of this overreaction is due to how embarrassed the New Zealand authorities were by how badly they bungled the reaction to the events.
Well, I didn't notice that anyone was saying anything like that because, I mean, to be fair, they probably weren't expecting this.
No, but they apparently have some very advanced software. They have some very advanced systems in place, and they do a lot of training for this. And it took them 34 minutes to get to an active shooter situation with multiple
hell.
calls. 34 minutes.
That is a long time.
It's an embarrassing long time considering Christchurch isn't out in the sticks. It does have, a police presence there in the town itself. It's not some rural, out middle of nowhere outpost.
Yeah.
It's a major population center. And a 34-minute response time to an active shooter situation is quite frankly embarrassing.
Yes, I agree.
That's all the time you need to do anything you want.
I mean, 34 minutes response time to a burglary is supposed to be embarrassing, but we don't really exactly have much of that in the UK. I've heard from people in the US who say they feel more comfortable having firearms because a police officer's more than 30 minutes away from them. And I think in some major cities they try and get their response time down to active shooters to about 3 minutes.
And to be honest with you, it's kind of understandable, isn't it?
Yeah,
But, I saw an article that a bunch of Muslim mosques in America, the Muslims are going to be going to those mosques armed, as is their constitutional right, to defend themselves from any would-be attackers. And I'm just thinking, oh man, that's just this is surely not a good
Unironically,
thing.
the good Muslim with a gun saved the day.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's genuinely
Like
true.
if you want to get a concealed carry permit and carry your legally owned firearm to the mosque, more power to you.
Yeah, but like
Defend your place of worship. I'm serious. Exercise your constitutional rights. Everyone should.
I agree,
I carry every
but
day.
there have been loads of examples in France and Germany of mosques basically stashing up AK-47s and stuff.
Oh, that's why I said legally owned.
Yeah, I'm sure this won't happen in America because I'm an optimist. But oh god, it's
Watch him change the rule to where you can only have a gun if you're Muslim.
Oh
no.
no, that would be beyond the pale, wouldn't it? How caught up are you on the distributist videos? Honestly, they've been the best cure for my nihilism lately. I'm assuming I'm not at all, because I haven't been sat at my computer for very much over the past few weeks, frankly. So let me just have a quick look. Yeah, no, there's loads I haven't seen from him. So when I get some time, I'm gonna catch up on those. If you say my name, I'll send 2 more Lamau. I'm not going to say it then. I don't need you to send it. Well, it's not that I don't need
Well,
to
then say it and just send it to me.
Yeah, but I don't do it for cheap reasons. But thank you, Lewd Beats.
You said it.
Goddamn. As a New Zealander, the way the media portrays the shooter makes me sick, always having to serve their agenda. Yeah. Nan Suturizing Target, not literally Saga, I meant critique. Sorry. I should have. See, this is the situation we're in. A charitable interpretation of what you'd said would obviously have meant critique. Thinking back to what you'd said, obviously would have done. Critique the bad schools, Salafi, Deobandi, etc. Reform Islam from inside by promoting Nazari, Alawi, etc. Well, I agree. I mean, we have to. Because there are people who hold fancies will be able to get rid of Islam. That's never happening. The best we can do is make the versions of it that are around us benign. And I do think that is an achievable goal, but it might take a few decades, and it'll take even longer if we're not allowed to actually criticize Islam, which we're not. They've got essentially new blasphemy laws coming in, Islamophobia laws, which is just. Can I jump into stream Saga and Makimi? Not at the moment, I'm afraid, but I could do something like that at some point. Nothing. JK. George Weasley dies from autoerotic asphyxiation while holding a pic of his twin brother George at age 72. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, JK. So what was the Jim Sterling stuff, by the way?
Oh
Jim
my God.
Sterling came out with a thunderous Islamophobic far right-wing comment.
Disgusting.
Right.
Absolutely disgusting.
So yeah, let me find the tweet and I'll show
I
everyone.
disavow.
I know.
It's I can read it if you like.
Let me get it on the screen first. And
Yeah,
then,
give him something to look at.
Yeah, because it's so great. I
Scroll up. I posted it in the.
So I'm
symposium.
on my timeline. Hang on. Here we go. Right. There we go. Do you want to read it out?
Yeah, I don't know. Has anyone got a good Jim Sterling impression? Because I'm terrible at impression.
I could probably do it.
Go ahead, Rags.
Where is it? It's in the
symposium. I'll copy it again.
I'll scroll. I can scroll up. All right.
If you think kids shouldn't learn about the existence of LGBTQ people, you're a monster who champions fear and misunderstanding.
Oof, Jim. And then Scrump's
what
tweet.
What an Islamophobe.
Yeah, exactly, right. These are monsters. You can't call Muslim monsters, Jim.
Yeah, there's the article there from The Economist saying British Muslim parents oppose LGBT lessons in primary school. Yeah. The parents have won the latest battle in the new culture war.
You can't just call Muslims monsters, Jim. It's really unacceptable, mate.
They're people just like you and I. Well, just like us, Jim.
Yeah. Jim, please humanize the Muslims. Stop dehumanizing them. They're not monsters,
what did you say?
Jim.
The monsters who champion fair and misunderstanding?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he thinks hashtag not all Muslims, but I fucking dare you to find any number of Muslims who approve of LGBTQ education in schools. I fucking dare you, Jim.
Yeah, that's so good. I take it he hasn't responded to it.
We need to drop
a strange group.
We need to drop. We just need to drop Jim Sterling in the middle of Bradford with a fucking rainbow t-shirt on and see how well he gets on. If you make it out alive, Jim, I'll have you on my show. I swear.
Well, obviously the Muslims will say keep monsters off our streets and beat them to a pulp.
He'll end up in a kebab.
That'll be a lot of kebab, though. So
Oh, you beat me to it. Fuck it. All I'm saying is that Jim can vote twice.
He's actually followed up on this on Twitter.
Oh boy.
Right. Okay. So yeah, here's there we go. So yeah, if you think that kids shouldn't learn about the existence of LGBTQ people, you're a monster who champions fear and misunderstanding. 14k likes, 3.5k retweets. I'd love to have learned growing up that I wasn't broken. Oh God, is this Jim coming out as gay?
Fucking hell, you are, but
Jim thinks he's quote unquote queer because I don't know why.
He is a strange
How
one.
can Jim be queer though? He's primarily turned on by watching his wife fuck other men.
Well,
Like,
Yeah, but maybe it's the other
does
men
that
part
work?
that get him going.
at least I'm
point.
gonna say all these people think they're part of the LGBTQ what's of barbecue community, yet they don't even have the courage to date someone who has a dick.
Yeah, Jim, you're such a pussy. You're not even
Yeah,
dating
yeah,
someone who's
d-
with a dick.
Put your money where your mouth is. At least my girlfriend has a dick, Jim.
Yeah,
Where's your fucking cred?
Leave that Sarlacc pit in the dirt, man. Get yourself a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim, what are you?
No,
what are you, gay?
Look, I'm just saying, I've never seen Jim Sterling and Jim Sterling's wife in the room at the same time.
You know what? That's a really, really salient point that I can't prove but strongly suspect that Jim is actually his wife when he's
Actually,
in drag.
that's a conspiracy theory. It's because having them in the same room would cause a singularity. You can't have lots of mass in one place.
No. I actually think that Jim Sterling and his wife might be the same person and could be seen in the same room at the same time.
So only now looking back, do I realise how isolated I was when trying to work out a lot about myself. I can't imagine wanting to inflict that isolation on other children. Look, Jim, no one wants to inflict isolation on children. We just don't want to pump their heads
Man,
with
he
the idea
fucked
that
that straw man up so hard.
yeah, we just don't want to pump their heads full of this shit when they're meant to be kids and not worrying about it. I mean, were you really thinking, God, I'm 7 years old and I really want to fuck a man and I just don't know why? Is that really what was going through your fucking head as a Jim? Or you really want to watch your wife?
Oh dear. I think there's a balance between, informing people that, hey, some people are gay and you shouldn't be afraid of these people. Well, actually, statistics. Anyway, no, let's not get into that. I think there's a big difference between, just informing them they exist and the extent that some of this goes to. It's interesting because I don't know how the lesson plans worked in these schools, the process we're going on in, that have to be an examination. But I think that Muslims are opposed to any level of LGBT education.
Yeah.
Well,
And
yeah,
the
it's
thing is-
immoral.
Well, yeah.
It's a sin, a lethal one, a mortal sin, isn't it?
But if
Yes.
it goes as far as some of the lesson plans I've seen in other places, they might have slightly had a point. That's why it's so
Well,
difficult.
I mean, if I'm going to put money on this, right, I'm going to bet that the LGBTQ curriculum was belligerent in the way that it came across.
Are you saying they weren't just saying that they existed?
I'm saying that Jim Sterling is a strawman creating fat piece of shit.
Oh, you
yes.
don't say. That's
Yeah.
what that was a big part of the stream we did on him.
Yeah, I can fucking
Like,
imagine.
oh yeah, no one's saying that, Jim. But man, you fucked that straw man up. Didn't stand a chance. You got him, Jim. Good job.
Fucking
You
nuke
got him.
from orbit, Jim. But
Yeah.
how will I explain it to my kids? Ask the parent who demands that nobody else explain to them either. Yeah, maybe these people seem to be morally opposed to homosexuality.
Listen, if you don't talk to your kids about the gay, then who will?
I know, right? But
I seem to remember Jim Sterling being quite an edgy boy a few years ago, though.
yeah,
Didn't he make some very insensitive comments about Jade Raymond while I was at Destructoid?
Yes, probably. He's probably got a long history of being an absolute shitlord until he decided that there's apparently fame and fortune in joining the SJW team.
Of course. I really don't like Jim Sterling. I think he's a mercenary. I think he blows with the wind. He's very self-righteous, and it's about Jim's bottom line, is what it is. He will say anything and everything.
Don't say Jim's bottom, please.
I don't think he's a man of principle. I think that
I don't
he's
think so either. Fuck
Yeah.
no. Basically none of them are.
no,
It's about what gets him most tickets to the buffet.
probably true. Probably true. I mean, I have a hard time believing that that's not the case. So right, sorry, I'll finish off these things. Right, I'm gonna stop fairly soon.
Put a taco in his lap and a black man in his wife, and he'll say whatever you want.
I like that comment by Sarain. Coughs and Wasley.
Ooh.
Oh, why? Fucking why?
What
I heard
became
it was,
of was?
I heard it's
eventually
'cause-
you just decide that having fun isn't fun anymore, and living a principled and exciting and enjoyable life just
Like, what's been going on with everyone? Like Sharat got kicked out of his house because he wouldn't clean his room, or like let a cat or dog out to pee.
Jordan
Like,
Peterson
fucking
laughs.
Ralph's eating burgers out the trash and falling asleep on the sidewalk in Miami. Um, like, what has this done to everyone? Like I was saying the other day, like I got off lightly. Like Gamergate only turned me gay, so
Well, they put the gay in Gamergate.
I did. I did not even know what had been happening. Like what's going on with Ralph? Is he's all fucked up and shit?
oh, he's just being Ralph.
Didn't he move in with Andy Warski?
Yeah, they're living their best gay life together.
Yeah, but isn't it only a matter of time until one of them kills the other?
Oh, of course it is. Or a matter of time before Ralph kills himself.
Well, yeah. Sargon, it's
look-
offensive to say Muslims will turn Jim into a kebab. It's against their religion to eat pork. Ha ha ha. That's quite good, actually. Thoughts on the Dutch elections? I haven't been following it at all, sorry. Also, Jim needs a trap. I think Jim's turning himself into a trap.
I mean,
these days.
like a trap on the floor that opens up to a pit.
No, like Scrump. I think Jim should be your next conquest.
Oh God, no!
Predatory seduction.
Hold fast.
I'm very happily taken. Okay, stop sending me all these DMs, people.
I was accosted for wearing PewDiePie merch by my lecturer. Fucking hell, while sat next to a kid wearing a hammer and sickle shirt. I hate this country. Dude, I can believe it. Like, I saw this this viral video about a lecturer going on about PewDiePie and how awful PewDiePie is. It's like, dude, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. He's just reciting, like a lecturer, a professor, just openly reciting this like narrative against a YouTuber who streams memes for young people to enjoy. And to be honest with you, I enjoy them as well now these days.
They are so upset that the most influential person on YouTube isn't a radical leftist. They're
Yeah.
so upset.
Yeah. Gotta love when radical leftist feminists or LGBT groups try to defend radical Muslims, like Sharia isn't antithetical to LGBT and feminist ideology. Well, they've just learned that it is, but they're all ignoring it, head in the sand. Hopefully this will just go away on its own, and won't blow up in their faces. Pun intended. I live in Christchurch, and the 34-minute response time is
Holy
bullshit.
shit!
It was 34 minutes until he was caught. Right? Okay, yeah. So it wasn't just like Yeah. Okay, fine. That makes more sense. As a centrist white male, I'm scared for the future. Yeah, dude, you should be. You're on the chopping block, mate. We all are. The left is openly discriminatory towards us and dehumanizes us any chance they get. I'm blackpilled. Well, it's easy to get blackpilled, but at the end of the day, this is why I get out of my house and do stuff. Because I'm not blackpilled.
Go
I'm
outside,
going
talk to people, get off the internet.
Yeah. That's the way to fix this. Honestly, it is like being at the place at the time matters. So that on that note, come to Daventry tomorrow. Free event. There are going to be lots of people speaking. It'll be very interesting. And yeah, I'd like to see
Some of you guys are all right. Please go to Daventry.
Well, I mean, there are already a few hundred people going, and I don't even know how the previous two events we had to turn people away. Like the first one, they were lining the walls, and on the second one, we weren't allowed to let everyone in. So it was like, okay, really sorry, we've got to turn you away, guys. So yeah, they've been really well attended because we're obviously going to heavily pro-Brexit areas. So Sargon, what's going on with D&D? I've just been too busy.
Sargon.
I've just been too busy. But now that we're back on, now I can stream again. I will be doing them when we can. But right, I think that's it. Please don't send any more if that's not it.
Someone sent you $200, by the way.
Oh shit, really? I wasn't looking at the numbers. I was just looking at the thing. Whataboutism is such bullshit, mister. There's a stick in your eye. There's a log in yours. That's whataboutism. Do I hate any single word more? Yeah, and it's all they ever do. Like, I mean, it's just reflexive for them at this point. Every time, like, I'll just say, any of it, and they'll just be like, yeah, but what about? Okay, well then we can't have a conversation, can we? And motionless paradox. Wow, thanks, man. Thanks. 200 fucking hell, man. I tell you what, man. I feel kind of guilty that you're sending me $200 because, like, YouTube get 30% of that. And it's like, man.
You should set up like a Streamlabs thing.
I know,
You should do this via Streamlabs.
I don't know how to do
Ralph
it.
couldn't save Streamlabs, but Sargon can.
Oh god, I'm not trying to save anything. Captain Carl, the globalists have massacred the harmony of Earth. They have taken control of the core connections that bring us together. Clever of the damn libs. Keep our heads down while they loot the exploits of the masses. The Codex Astartes does not approve this action. Fight on. I certainly shall. And mentioning Astartes, Arch, when's the next minute of Astartes footage coming out?
I haven't the faintest, but probably somewhere between now and 2035.
Man, I really fucking love that series of videos. It's like 3.5 minutes, and it's amazing. There's,
well.
honestly, like I am just thrilled that there'll be another minute of it at some point in a few months, and I can't believe that these people aren't getting proper funding.
Quick shout out to my friend Tara Sofia in the chat, who got kicked off Twitter recently for saying that Islam would probably throw most trans people off the top of a building, which is true. So
Oh,
Why
Tara.
would you even imply that? Oh my goodness, so Islamophobic.
yeah, so Islamophobic.
Why would?
By the
you
way,
even
here's a free
imply
gay
that?
flying lesson.
You know what they're going to make it so that you're not really allowed to dislike Islam. That's what they're trying to do. You're not allowed to dislike it, and it's like, man, I don't like Islam.
It's so shocking to me that the most violent, oppressive ideology that exists on the planet right now just gets a pass.
Yeah.
Like, I can't fathom it.
Yeah, Dankula currently teaches his black pug to raise his paw when told black power and screams in the camera, round 2, here we go.
Oh yeah, but that's okay though. Black power's good, don't you know?
Yeah, that's probably not a hate crime. And then leave Jim Sterling alone. He's having a rough time raising his wife's son. Oh, the thing is, like, I'm reasonably convinced that Jim's wife is actually Jim dressing as a trap, so he actually can't have a son. I'm convinced that's the case at this point.
I love that people make memes about like your wife's son, but Jim is actually raising his wife's son. Yes, he actually is.
Get off the potato blumph train and get on the Yang gang. Yang's he's not nearly as interesting as Trump, frankly. Trump's actually addressing the sort of like the actual issues that we've been talking about all the time. Like he was tweeting out, like, let me just grab his Twitter feed, because there's like some real woke stuff in there.
Save your Wang, vote for Yang.
Yes, okay, yeah. He's not addressing circumcision. Trump defends his Twitter
I'm a
use.
one-issue voter that revolves around circumcision.
Right, okay. But what was it? He he called out the social media shit. Yeah, like this thing.
But don't let them near your pee-pee, okay?
Yes, don't.
PP no touchy.
There was I've been looking into the stop the bias thing.
Rabbi, what are you doing? Rabbi, stop.
But so Trump's actually paying attention to what's going on. The problem is, like, and I think a lot of people forget this, is that Trump's probably got unbelievable amount of pressures on him coming from every single direction. So just getting his attention for any one issue is probably really tough. So the fact that we're getting any kind of attention from the God Emperor is probably a good thing. Probably quite impressive in and of itself. But right. Thank you everyone for joining me. I really appreciate it. And thanks chaps for jumping on. I really appreciate that too. I hope you've all had fun and it's been a nice chat. And thank you all so very much for all the support. I really. Oh, hang on. Did you hear about Yang's woke comments recently? No, but I knew it was going to happen. He is in no way going to resist the far left. I'm telling you, he will never. Chat. What did he say? What did he actually say? Because he's not going to be able to resist the far left. This is the thing about Trump. He is woke on the far left, and he understands the threat they pose.
Okay, yeah. Here's one. Press T for Trump and Y for Yang. We'll say that go by.
That's just an elaborate plot to get everyone to say thank you.
Okay.
Basinski, I'll get you on another time, man. I'll do another thing like that at some point. It's 2:00 in the morning, man. I've been traveling all day. I am fucking shattered.
Yeah.
Right, so exactly. The Yang Gang's a small, noisy fringe. That's fuck the Yang.
Mostly seeing T's here.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I'm still with the God Emperor, man. Like that God Emperor's Trump statue, man. We are in contact with the guy who made it, and we might be able to get it.
Oh!
I'm not joking. I mean, if it comes to it, it'll probably cost a lot of money to get it over. So I mean, if everything
people
falls
will
into
fund
place,
that.
yeah. Well, that's
Don't
the thing.
worry.
I was thinking, if everything falls into place, I'll find out how much it'll cost for transport, and then I'll get all those receipts and whatnot. And if you guys are up for it, we can fucking crowdfund that, because that's that's gonna be great, isn't it? Just
I want it on my lawn.
Yeah, me too. I want Trump to buy it and put it in front of the fucking White House. Like The God Emperor Trump statue. I just can't believe it. It's like, what the fuck? This is the best thing I've ever seen. I didn't
It
realize
is
politics could be fun.
it's a present from another nation.
Yeah.
From our friends down south.
From Italy,
I-
from
oh,
Salvini
God.
to the God Emperor Trump. You know, well done for leading the way. But anyway, thank you for everything, everyone. I really do appreciate it, and hopefully
Where's your
I'll
statue, Obama?
yeah, and hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. Take it easy, everyone.